What's up guys, Chick Z from Chick's Tech Reviews. Today I've got my hands on the latest 2019 Nvidia Shield TV. Now this is the newly designed cylinder shaped cheaper version of the Shield TV and it's currently priced at $149. Now in this video I am going to put this TV box through its paces and we are going to find out exactly what this box is capable of and how good it really is. But first of all, inside the box you will find a quick start guide, a power cable, and it's interesting to note that we have a different type of power cable. It's a standard kettle lead and that is a US plug because I did pick this up from Amazon US. So in my case I just need one of these and I'm good to go. And you're also getting the amazing chocolate bar remote control. I have been using the Pro version of the Nvidia Shield TV and I have to say I have grown very fond of this remote control. I love the shape of it, I love the size of it, and I really like the backlighting and the fact that you can control your television's volume and power with this remote control. So a very nice voice remote included, and last but certainly not least, the Shield TV. Now the first thing to note is how small and light this is. It's hard to believe how they were able to fit the motherboard and the internals in a shape like this. So definitely an awesome design. Now quickly go through the ports. On this side you've got a power socket and a Gigabit LAN. And on the other side you've got your HDMI out, and just under that you've got a MicroSD card slot. And that is it. There's no USB port at all, so for expansion you only have the option for MicroSD. Now I'll quickly compare this to the full-sized Shield. And this is what you can expect in terms of size. So significantly smaller, lighter, but of course less ports, and the specifications are slightly different. So I'll put the specs on the screen so you guys can have a quick read. So we have the Nvidia Tegra X1 Plus CPU with 256 core Maxwell. Now the GPU is slightly upgraded in this Tegra X1 Plus, clocked at just over 1200 megahertz. So that is where their so-called 25% upgrade comes from. But in real-time use, you can't see the difference. The Tegra X1 Plus versus the Tegra X1, to me, in real-time use, they seem exactly the same in operation. Now, you've got 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage. Now that is actually bad news. It means that you're not even going to have 8 gigs of RAM. You're probably going to have 5 gigs or 6 gigs due to the system OS taking up the space. On the positive note, there is a microSD card slot which you can convert to internal storage, and I do have a 128 gigabyte card which I have converted to internal storage, and we'll be checking that out in a bit. Now you still have dual band Wi-Fi AC with dual antennas, so you've got the super fast Wi-Fi, you've got Bluetooth version 5, Gigabit LAN, microSD card slot, you've got Android tvOS version 9, Chromecast 4K built in. This supports 4K at 60 frames per second with HDR10. You've got support for Dolby Vision and Dolby ATMOS, and this supports HDMI version 2.0B. So without any further ado, I'm going to get this hooked up to my TV and capture card, and I'm going to give you guys a full demonstration of what the Shield TV is capable of. I'll be right back. So first of all, I ran a boot up speed test, and this box took 40 seconds to fully load the home screen from a cold start. And here is the home screen for this TV box, and this is Google's official licensed Android TV OS version 9. So in the top left corner you have your voice search icons, and on the far left you have your settings and your local time. Thereafter, the first row of icons are your favorite apps, and you can customize the row to show your favorite apps in the order you want. If you click on the apps icon, it will take you to your app drawer, showing you all the default apps that are available on the system as standard. And there are only a few apps to begin with, but you do have access to the Google Play Store, which is the Android TV version, so not the full version, so limited to Android TV apps only, but you can of course sideload any Android app you like and it works absolutely fine. Thereafter, you have featured sections for Netflix, YouTube, BBC i, Google Play Movies, and more. And finally, at the bottom, you have your customized channel option where you can rearrange your home screen to suit you and your watching lifestyle. Now let's quickly check out the main settings and go straight to device preferences and select system storage info. Now this box has 8 gigs of internal storage, from which 5.9 gigs are usable, and from that you only have 3.9 gigs of free space. I have also inserted a 128GB microSD card, and I did format that to internal storage. So any apps I download or install will automatically get installed on the 128GB card. So the 3.9 gigs of free space I have will no longer be touched. Everything gets downloaded and installed on the SD card. So that's definitely a plus point. Now the top feature in the new 2019 Nvidia Shield TVs is of course AI upscaling, which basically upscales HD video quality into 4K, and the upscaling mode can be activated at any time by pressing the menu button. And if we have a quick look in CEC power control, you can see at the bottom that there is an option to set up the remote control to control your television. So now we're going to play 4K videos from the microSD card slot. Now there is no USB, so I have copied over my 4K samples to the SD card. So let's go ahead and play the first file. So first of all, we are testing the 4K high bitrate Jellyfish demo, and this one is 160 megabits per second and playback is smooth as expected. I also tested out the 180 megabits per second Jellyfish demo, and that also played back very nice and smooth. And finally, the 400 megabits per second file also played back very smooth. So high bitrate 4K files will play absolutely fine on this box. So moving on now to the YouTube performance test, and you can stream a maximum of 4K at 60 frames per second on YouTube.
Be good.
But he always makes me call him Freddy.
What's she gonna do when we come in?
No, never. Y'all will never do that again.
So that brings us to the Netflix test, and this box supports Netflix 4K HDR with Dolby Vision and Dolby ATMOS support.
Your daughter, ma'am?
And you can also stream up to 4K on Amazon Prime Video. Moving on now to the gaming test, beginning with Asphalt 9. Now let's talk about NVIDIA games. In this section you will have access to the latest AAA titles which you can immediately purchase and start playing. But you also have a completely free section with a whole bunch of games that are ready to play. You don't even have to download the game. The game actually streams directly from the NVIDIA server and you're playing it remotely with your game controller. And this does support resolutions up to 4K. And third-party game controllers are supported, so you can use your PlayStation 4, your Xbox One, or even the GameSir G4S game controllers. They all work absolutely fine.
It's all on the line!
That's enough, Lugo.
I'm just keeping it light, boss.
Yeah, I don't need light. Need you focused on the mission.
What mission? We're basically poking a dead dog with a stick.
We have our orders. Locate survivors, leave the city immediately. Radio command from outside the storm wall.
My head. Oh, shit. They're dead.
You can also play games from your existing Steam library, and again, the game gets downloaded remotely to NVIDIA's server, and it takes less than 3 minutes to download a 50 gigabyte game, and the game is then streamed directly to your screen for you to enjoy.
What a stomp! Good grief!
So for you advanced users, DRM info shows Google Widevine level 1. And here is CPU-Z, where you can check out the clock speeds, and you can see this is running the NVIDIA Tegra. There's no sign of a plus. It's a quad-core CPU which is clocked at 2.01 GHz. Furthermore, you do have Android version 9, and the box does not come rooted as standard. Furthermore, in the Wi-Fi speed test, we got download speeds of 66 and upload speeds of 18 megabits per second. So that brings us to our benchmark scores, beginning with Geekbench multi-score of 3725. And unfortunately, the Antutu test was not compatible. It would crash during the 3D coastline test and automatically exit itself to the home screen. And I tried many different versions with the exact same result. Nevertheless, we're going to rank this TV box based on the Geekbench scores. So here is my top performing Android TV box chart of 2019, showing you the latest TV boxes and seeing how they compared with each other. And as you can see, the Shield TV 2019 has taken position 4 on this chart with a rating of 9.5 out of 10. Now you can view the full versions of all my charts online at chigstech.com and read them at your leisure. So there you have it, guys. That was the new 2019 Nvidia Shield TV. So here are my thoughts on this TV box. You have a decent performance, excellent Wi-Fi speeds, great gaming performance with access to hundreds of AAA titles, including a free game streaming section, which I did demo earlier in the video. And you can also watch smooth, high bitrate 4K videos from the SD card slot. Now, the brand new feature AI image upscaling is actually quite good. It will upscale HD videos to 4K using AI technology, and this feature also works in Kodi, Plex, MX Player, and many other third-party apps. Now, the new remote control is simply awesome. Great responsive remote with all the convenient buttons that you need. You also have a backlight, and it's powered by 2 AA batteries. Now, all the other features are the same as the previous generation Nvidia Shield TV. You have Chromecast 4K, GeForce Now, Game Stream, smooth 4K video playback from YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Disney+, Google Play, and the list goes on. This box also supports 4K gaming. Now, Dolby Vision and ATMOS is now supported in Netflix, Prime, and Disney+. Bottom line, this TV box will give you a real 4K streaming experience. You have AI upscaling, Dolby Vision, Dolby ATMOS, and a great gaming performance. But unfortunately, according to the Geekbench scores, it's slightly less powerful than the 2017 model, and the stingy 2 gigs of RAM is probably the cause of that lower performance. And if you thought the RAM was less, well, 8 gigs of internal storage feels like an insult. The specs seem quite shameful for a 2019 product. Not only that, there is also no USB port, no optical out, no game controller, no HDMI cable included in the box, and the SD card slot itself is too close to the HDMI port, which means you have to remove the HDMI cable every time you want to access that port, which is definitely a good way to wear out that HDMI port, and in the long run, you could end up with a damaged port. It seems like Nvidia are going backwards when it comes to the Nvidia Shield TV. I was hoping for a beast to be unleashed in the new 2019 Shield TV model, but instead we have been given a similar product repackaged with some software updates. Now, I understand the Tegra X1 Plus has a slightly higher clock speed in the GPU, but in real-time usage I have not seen the benefit yet. It feels like exactly the same performance. So again, I feel that the upgrade is not worth the money if you already own a previous generation Nvidia Shield TV. If you are new to Nvidia Shield TV and you've never used one or you don't have one, then definitely pick one up, but it has to be the Pro model. I definitely don't recommend this model. And with that being said, I will leave the links in the description so you guys can check this product out. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a brilliant day. I'll see you guys in the next one.